Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
It only happens once a year. The annual COPE North exercise is currently ongoing in Guam and the CNMI. Members of the U.S. military, Japan Air Self-Defense Force, and the Royal Australian Air Force are all partaking in this year's exercise, which includes human assistance and disaster relief training. U.S. Air Force Colonel Ryan Sweeney is the 36th Wing Operations Commander.
It's an exciting year for COPE North. There's over 3,000 personnel participating, over 100 aircraft. And this year, as always, the focus is on interoperability and partnership, with a specific focus this year on humanitarian assistance and disaster relief.
The exercise is meant to increase readiness among the nations and strengthen alliances. This year's directors include U.S. Air Force Colonel Britt Hurst, Japan Air Self-Defense Force Colonel Kensuke Onishi, and Royal Australian Air Force Group Captain Ben Sleeman.
It's a fantastic opportunity for us to work together with our Japanese and Australian partners. And we've had a fantastic exercise so far, and we look forward to that continuing for the rest of this month.
Japan wants to be a capable country, also an important country to relieve the disasters. So Japan Air Self-Defense Force wants to have an exercise between the United States forces and Royal Australian Air Force.
This is our 8th COPE North. We look forward to it every year. We receive some excellent training with our partners in the region, specifically Japan and the United States.
All forces are simulating the disaster scenario of an earthquake, which requires medical evacuations and airlift to bring in food and water. The Northern Mariana Islands of Saipan, Rota, and Tinian are all being used as relief deployment locations to practice federal airlift and on-site response. KUAM was able to ride aboard an RAAF C-127J Spartan aircraft to check out the sites in Rota and Tinian. First stop, Rota. RAAF Wing Commander Greg Elliott is the commanding officer of the site.
So this is actually what we call an A-pod, which is a small aerial, small airport to facilitate the movement of aircraft, as you've seen today. We're mainly in support of, in this case, the hospital, with a lot of movement of medical patients out of the natural disaster affected area in a what we call a humanitarian assistance and disaster relief scenario.
The catastrophic disaster in this scenario occurs on Tinian, and so Rota serves as a medevac location, equipped with an airport, ground operations, hospital, and living quarters. We then set off on our next journey to Tinian, the location of the simulated disaster. U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel John Matuzak.
So we're at Baker Landing Strip, okay, and we're practicing opening up very basic supply logistics hub or port, as we would call it, and this is the place where we would stage the humanitarian assistance supplies. We would transfer them over to NGOs or to the local government authorities, and in order to feed people and get people out of a bad situation.
The Bare Bones Camp is a quick setup for fast disaster relief response. The three nations will continue to work together in the COPE North exercise to better their response and cohesion during a disaster that may occur within the region.
We're learning things about the way they do things to optimize the way we do things, and vice versa.
Residents of Guam and the CNMI can expect increased military presence until March 2nd. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Kiani Mendiola.
Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.